You think emergencies kill you with hunger, with cold, with bad gear. You think you die because you didn't have the right knife, the right boots, the right filter, the right gun. So you buy more, you upgrade, you watch reviews, you build a shrine of equipment in a closet, and then the real emergency shows up, and none of it matters because the thing that kills most people first is not a lack of tools, it's a glitch in your brain. The lights go out. The city goes quiet, not peaceful quiet, predatory quiet. And you stand there, holding your phone, waiting for the world to explain itself. That hesitation is where you die. Most people think panic is the enemy. The science says otherwise. The biggest mistake people make during emergencies is acting like it isn't one. You're going to learn the name of that mistake, why your brain does it, and how to override it on command. Before the next disaster turns your living room into a trap, and near the end you'll get one 5-second test that exposes whether you'll freeze or move. The mistake has a name, normalcy bias. It's the brain's refusal to accept that the rules have changed. When reality becomes too sharp, too sudden, too abnormal, your mind protects itself by dulling the edge, not by screaming, but by pretending. And that pretending looks like calm. Most people don't panic in the first moments of catastrophe. They freeze, they delay, they keep doing normal tasks. They make coffee while the sky turns green. They pack a suitcase while the building alarm screams. They wait for confirmation. From the internet, from a neighbor, from a voice of authority, while the exit is still open. This isn't weakness, it's neurology. Under sudden stress, your brain gets flooded not just with fear, but with data it can't process fast enough. The prefrontal cortex, the part that thinks, plans, calculates, starts to lose bandwidth. And the amygdala, the threat engine, takes the wheel. When the amygdala drives, it doesn't ask, what's the optimal plan? It asks, what have we done before that didn't kill us? So you default to routine. Even if the building is literally burning, you go for your wallet, your keys, your shoes, your coat, your phone charger. You waste time closing loops because your brain hates unfinished tasks. Normalcy bias is your brain trying to keep the world coherent by acting like it still is. It's a survival feature in small problems, in real emergencies. It's a death sentence. You want proof, not theory. History is full of bodies stacked behind normal behavior. Fires, floods, blackouts, building collapses, sudden evacuations. The pattern repeats because the hardware in your skull hasn't been updated in 10,000 years. During disasters, people have been documented doing the most useless things imaginable, not because they're stupid, because they're human. When power fails in a dense city, elevators stop. Smoke alarms start. People smell something wrong, and instead of leaving, they start collecting objects. Wallets, passports, jewelry. They go back for pets. They go back for one more bag. They go back to lock the door. Those extra trips are where fatalities happen, because environments don't care about your priorities. In fire, your lungs don't fail heroically. They fail quietly. You take one breath of hot smoke, and the airway swells, you cough. Then you can't pull enough air. Then your muscles weaken. In flood, water doesn't rise politely. It comes with current, with debris, with sewage. And the person who waited to see if it gets worse learns what current feels like when it takes your feet out from under you. In evacuation events, people have been seen searching for car keys while alarms screamed, while exits clogged, while the safe window closed. That is normalcy bias doing its job, incorrectly, in the worst moment. And once the amygdala is in full control, logic doesn't just weaken. It gets replaced. Your world shrinks to fragments. Sound, movement, heat, faces. So the question isn't, do you have gear? The question is, will you use it, or will you stare at it while time evaporates? So how do you override a brain that evolved to deny chaos? You use a loop that forces motion. Fighter pilots use it. Tactical teams use it. People who survive ambushes use it. It's called the OODA Loop. Observe, orient, decide, act. This isn't motivational, it's mechanical. It is a procedure for thinking under stress. When your feelings are lying, step 1, observe. You need a baseline of your environment so you can spot anomalies instantly. Not, is something wrong? You don't ask permission, you look for proof. Power out, no fridge hum, no traffic noise, smoke smell. Distant shouting. Observe is the raw feed. Step 2, orient. This is where you break normalcy bias. You acknowledge the threat without denial. You say it out loud. The grid is down. There is a fire. There are gunshots. We are leaving. Saying it out loud forces your brain to update reality. It interrupts the loop of pretending. Step 3. Decide, not a big plan, not a perfect plan, a small plan you can execute in seconds. This is where most people fail because they try to invent strategy in the middle of chaos. You don't invent, you retrieve. You use pre-programmed if-then micro plans. If the power cuts out and you hear an explosion, then you grab the go bag and exit the rear door. If you smell smoke in the hall, then you stay low, touch the door for heat, and move to the secondary exit. If you hear sustained gunfire close, then you get away from windows and into the core room. If you're in public and the crowd surges, then you go lateral, not with the flow, and you find hard cover, short, brutal, executable. Step 4. Act. Action ends freezing, not thinking about moving. Moving. OODA is a loop, not a checklist. You observe again as you move. You orient again as conditions change. You decide again in smaller bites. You act again. Now a warning, because some of you will try to prepare the wrong way. You will write a 40-page emergency plan you'll never read under stress. That's still normalcy bias, disguised as productivity. Your brain wants complexity because complexity feels like control. Control doesn't save you, speed saves you. One-sentence plans, one-motion plans, if-then plans you can execute with shaking hands. And now the thing you were promised earlier. The move that seems helpful but gets you selected, it's light. In an emergency, light is information. A lit window tells everyone around you, I have batteries, I have fuel, I have capability. Normalcy bias makes you turn lights on to make things feel normal. The predator brain in other people reads it as a resource node. So if the grid dies, you control photons. Blackout first, then light, always. Now the final rule, survival gear is useless if your brain won't let you use it. Your knife can't cut through denial. Your filter can't purify hesitation. Your mind is the first tool. If it locks up, everything else becomes expensive junk. So your homework is simple and it's brutal. Look around the room you're in right now. Pick a disaster. Blackout, fire, intruder, earthquake now in under 5 seconds. Map your exit route, not I'll figure it out. Not I think. You point, you move. Where do you go if that door is blocked? Where do you rally if you're separated? What do you grab and what do you leave? If you can't do that in 5 seconds, you are not prepared, you are just well-equipped. And equipment doesn't move without a decision. So do this tonight. Write one if-then plan for a sudden blackout, in your exact home, with your exact people. Put it somewhere your eyes will hit it when the world tilts. Because under stress, you don't rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your programming. And tell me yours, if the power goes out right now. What is your immediate if-then plan, in one sentence? The world is fragile. The moment it breaks, your brain will try to pretend it didn't. Don't let it. Stay with mortal logic and keep training while the lights are still on.